Good afternoon. How you all doing? I just shut this door a minute, excuse me. So I want to pick up where we left off yesterday. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into changing our vocabulary. Just give me a second here. I am inviting. I hope you all are doing well. There's a few things that we need to discuss as a collective consciousness. I mean, this is not about agreeing with 100% with one another. It is about discussing the things that affect humanity, affect us globally, changing trauma. Okay, how you all doing? I'm going to ask you all to please share and invite out. We're going to pick this up from yesterday. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper, but what I really want you to do for the rest of the week is ponder within yourselves, because this is very important. There's not one of us that's not affected globally about the current situation. So yesterday I was on with Sarah a little bit. We were discussing things that are happening within our own lives as we are healing, what we are doing to overcome the challenges that we are facing. And generational curses came up. And I immediately said that let's change that word from generational curses to generational patterns, because that's really what they are. They're patterns. When people constantly are reflecting back to their childhood or their past life that led them to recognize their trauma, we tend to say that they're curses. We kind of like do that to ourselves all the time, right? We kind of put the mojo on us because they say everything that you speak is heard, etc., so on. So we're going to change that, and we're going to work on the patterns that are not good for us to take into our soul, to fester into our being, and it's happening on all levels. So how do we change our mindset? You change your mindset by enacting something every day. Every day we enact something that changes our mindset. Therefore, it changes the patterns that no longer serve us. There's a lot of things going on, and I wasn't even going to come on today, but then I decided that I should. And I could say the same thing 1,000 different ways over and over again, but if myself or the individuals that are meant to hear the messages don't get it, then they won't get it. But I would say that everyone on this planet realizes that what's going on here is really something that if we don't break the patterns, we will sink into the abyss. You all could say whatever you want. You could say that you are on the high train to utopia. You could say that you got this because you're living in a bubble where you're secluded from the population. You could say that God is with me and it doesn't affect me, but it does affect your offspring. It does affect you, no matter what you say. And I think it's high time that we stop using all these they're jabs. They're really jabs, right? They're really, really jabs, because it's like the lower frequency, the higher frequency. Don't be a sheep. We can't, afford to help anybody. It's our time now. It's now or never. Why don't you all stop that? Because you have it in your minds that you're insured the kingdom of God, and you really don't know if you are or not. None of us do. What we do every day counts. How we act. If you want to change generational curses, which are patterns, then you have to be responsible for how you act every single day. You have to be responsible on what's in your soul. I don't know if you see what's going on here, but I'm going to educate you. First, it was BLM. Everything that they did was acceptable because it was a way of freedom. Okay, let's take it there. Now you have the situation with the truckers. They're peacefully protesting and they're being arrested and their accounts are being frozen, and it does affect you. Get off your high horse and stop saying it doesn't affect you, even though we are chosen by God and we feel that we will be protected. It most certainly does affect you, and it affects you because of the simple fact that what happens is that if you look at the game and how it's being played, they're gonna play the trump card of the color, which you all should start getting out of your generational patterns, and you should start thinking slavery is a terrible thing. Doesn't matter who was afflicted by it, the acts of slavery is horrendous. Let's put that right on the table right now. But we, in fact, as a whole collective, are slaves because we get up, we go to work, we do the things we don't like to do to survive. We feel like we're in a drudgery. So many things. We lose loved ones, etc., so on, and how it goes. And we are all affected by it. Every single one of us. And here we are, we're saying that it's the curses that lead us to keep falling or to have us regress. But what it really is it's our own hang-up. It's our own lack of responsibility. It's our own lack of morals. It's to think that we are so spiritual, that we're above people. It doesn't work like that, guys. Spirituality is a place that you connect with God, your inner God, your inner self, in a time and space that allows you to understand not only your purpose here, to figure things out, and to be a better person. 96% of the population are not better people. They're nasty, they're ugly, they feel like they are closed up, they feel like they are in prison. And how could you ever change any patterns if you feel this way? You can't, because you're afraid to talk about them because somebody always gets pissed off. You're afraid to talk about your feeling. You absolutely have to constantly be spiritual all the time to be in a place where you're accepted by people. So how are you any different than people that if you're on the line all day, and when you're online all day, you are all in these groups saving the world, but actually you're just shooting the breeze with people in different parts of the world and trying to figure it out. You must participate in this if there is going to be change. You didn't come here only to remember, because if you came here only to remember, things would have been cleared up. You came here to remember, to learn, to change your patterns, and to change the way humanity lives with one another. So let's get back to the truckers in Canada. I salute them. I salute anybody who's for the right thing. They're in a bind, and everybody's like, oh, but this is where the divine should be, and we're winning its love. You're not winning nothing. You're 3 sheets away from communism. You, me, and everybody else. If you think that Biden is the laughing stock of the USA by his choice, then you don't know this game at all, because his masters are pulling the string and politicians are just the puppets, and so are your kings and queens of this world. So once they take over, they're not interested in the poor and the ghetto or the black or the white trash that has no money. Get it out of your heads, people. You're so prejudiced that you really can't take the truth of the raw talk of what's happening to humanity. They're not interested in those people. They're weak. They're easily defeated. They're not interested in the super elite because they have an agenda, and that agenda is played out. Doesn't matter if the entertainment people sold themselves out. They'll meet their own maker, because now their dues have to be paid, and you see what's going on here. They could care less about the mass population, because they have all to do to save themselves. So you got what's considered the middle class, right? The middle class would be considered the people who are working, who are making good salaries, who are moving up, and that's who they want to wipe out, and that's who they are wiping out. Because once they wipe that class of society out, it's full game on. So before you think that you're here not to do anything, and if you are going to change any type of patterns, why don't we change this pattern and this curse, so to speak, on humanity? The curse of slavery. Slavery, the curse that you are not any better than what society says you are, because you allow society to take up arms against you, and you do not do anything about it. So people are going to go back to work. Big deal. 3/4 of the population are already vaccinated. You'll see what happens to them as time goes on. You'll see they'll get sick. You'll see there'll be more cancer. You'll see that the underlying diseases that they have will accelerate now. You're already witnessing it. But people can't say that that is happening, because if they say that it's happening, they might have to admit that we as a collective made a mistake. Listen, people make mistakes. But if you actually come together and say no more mistakes and we are going to rise up, you will find solutions. But instead, only thing that I see that people are concerned about is who's high in the spiritual ranks, who has a gift, whose energy is A, whose energy is B, who's got this channel, and it's influxing through humanity. Listen, love is the key, love is the way. I'm not saying that, but a lot of people, what they're doing is they are also continuing to stay in unhealthy patterns. And as they stay in unhealthy patterns, we see more and more of a demise in humanity. I'm just as spiritual as the next person. And when I do my rituals and I am with Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim, El Shem, I am in sacred space and glory. I do not have to go on air to show what I can and cannot do. To me, that's a private interaction. But I can tell you a few basic things that are lacking in humanity, and one of them is respect for one another. And nobody wants to say the truth, because what we want to say is that we found the way, and as we found this way, we are the embodiment of light. Instead of turning around and say, I'm looking at my own self inside, I'm changing the trauma, right? I'm changing the patterns. I'm rising up. I'm talking about things that are difficult. These are the things that people are thirsty for, not the things that keep you constantly in a loop. And to me, you all want to be in a loop, because not one person stands up for the right thing. You could stand up for the right thing without putting someone else down. You abide by the current way things are in the spiritual community, because you go along with it. I never hear anybody say, come on, that's not the right thing to do. Why are you doing that? You know, spirituality and living in the word and the truth, however you want to address it, is a daily function. Every day you have to be aware. And where humanity is going downhill very quickly. Yes, people are rising up. Yes, people are talking, but it's not on the scale that it should be. I have some beautiful friends out there who have suffered immensely in their everyday life, but you don't hear those stories, right? You don't hear what is on their mind, how they function in a world that is less than kind, how they live with their ailments, how they are fighting for life. You know what you hear? You hear a bunch of people, and it's in every family, every friends, including my own, etc., so on. They're troublemakers. They never have a kind word. They sit with people that do them dirty. They never turn around and say, we're on this planet for a short period of time, and when we are interacting with our loved ones, let's really love them. Let's understand that nobody's got it perfect. So when we are changing these patterns, we have to discuss everything. And yes, you could be holy as I was going to say holy as hell. You could be holier than thou. You can rock it out. You can still drink the waters of life, but you got to get real. We got a real problem here. What's normal? People think they're going back to normal because they're going back to work in March. You're not going back to anything normal. 3/4 of the population are already dumbed down. And I know people don't want to hear this because people make decisions maybe because they're supporting a loved one, maybe because they were afraid for a moment. I get all that. But there's many things now that you could do to reverse certain things, and you better start. If you don't start now, your spirituality, your way of life, your going home, your acceptance of all that is not in tone with your heart, you're going to throw it all out the window. And someone needs to discuss it openly and honestly with style and grace. And this is not about putting anybody down, because let's face it, we all got to live our own life, and we're all responsible for our own action. But if you think things don't affect you, you're wrong. Inflation is 10%. No, it's not. It's more like 18%. They're not going to tell you the truth. Think about it. Think about why there's inflation. Think about why people are depressed. Think about why people feel hopeless now. Think about why there are so many people turning on each other in the spiritual community. No, thank you. I don't want you for my friend. I let a couple of people in. I can never let no more people in my life no more. The door has to be locked, because I'm a funny egg. People could throw all their innuendos they want. They could think they're bad. They could think they're goddesses. They could think they're whatever they want. I am unaffected by that. You rock with me, I'm going to look you in your eyes, and I don't care what spell you could do. And if anybody takes that message personally, that's because the shoe fits them. You're not, you take what we have and you dirty it all the time. Human nature does that. Right down to a simple prayer, to a simple breaking bread, to everything that goes on in this world. Who dirties it? Human beings dirties it, right? You want to talk about the elite child trafficking? I don't see nobody doing a lot. Well, let me put it this way. That's a wrong thing for me to say, and let me correct myself. People are making it aware, but there's a lot more of it going on in everyday life within the mass population than you realize it. Help a kid if a kid needs help. We say we don't want these curses to follow, and they are patterns, where I'm using both words so we could ease out of the stereotype. But how could we say that if we don't assist our young? If we don't hear, if we turn a deaf ear? How could we do any of the thing that God, the earth, spirit, however you want to connect it to your own self, how could we do anything, right, if we have no respect for our offspring? If we don't change the pattern for where it counts? Everybody's licking their wounds, and I get that. I lick my wounds too sometimes, but there's got to be a time where we break bread in a different way. You come on here and, people say, well, this one's making money, that one's making money. I could care less who's making what. It's a falsified trick bag that you guys are in when you believe things that are not true. When you want the simple truth, you have lots of scrolls that are available for you. Take what you need out of it. Know when something is a parable. Know when something is literal. Support those people, because it's coming into your backyard. I don't care where you live and how you do. And you see where all these people were dispersed? What do you think? They were just dispersed in the inner city? Yeah, more people will go in the inner cities. They are dispersed in a neighborhood near you, because what they really want to do is they want to ransack our morals, our spirituality, what we believe, our family units. They want to ransack everything. And because people are hateful, people are following into the pattern, because people have been locked up for so long. I'm sorry, it's the truth. And then you have the people that are good and doing the right thing. But then what happens is that they make spirituality their business. So, they're talking about love, 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 but only thing is that they're really hearing is what can you buy from me? You understand? And there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying know the difference because your energy is very important. There's a lot of dives out there. One of my girls are on here. Hi, Dawn. I love you. We had a mutual friend, and I don't get involved in people's life. I said, those people are not what you think they are, my lady. And we left it like that. And they weren't what she thought they were. And, you know, this gift that I acquired, this gift saves me. Saves me from a lot of the rats out there. That's what I'm saying. You're falsified. You make people want to believe in you and think that they actually have friends in you, and you wouldn't do nothing for anybody. And I am correct when I call certain things, not because I think that I know it all, because I certainly don't, because I learn every day. But I go by my gut. My gut don't fail me. It's when I don't listen to my gut that I get caught up into things. So when people tell me about their pujas, about you know how better they are, about you know I'm different, about oh this is the sheep, I want to tell people shut up and dismiss yourself. And I might do that to certain people, because if you really have a heart, maybe you look at your own trauma, you look at your own issues, and you don't think that everybody is against you. And that's the problem with 3/4 of the people that are healing, because there's no trust. They believe everybody else is against them. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. I'm here to tell you that the truth and the word does live, but it's up to you to exercise that. I can tell you 1,001 things. If they don't resonate with you, they don't resonate with you. But yet a wise person will keep going, and they will break bread, and they will not turn it into poison like most people do. I don't care what you have. I don't care who you're with, right? I don't care any of that stuff, okay? Because at the end of the day, you still have to make your own way. So people use their popularity or their wealth or their make-believe spells and stuff like that to lure people in. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. We are teaching you foolproof things that help you. So yesterday when I was talking about the meditation, yes, it's one of the simplest meditations you'll do, but it stimulates the parts of the body that need stimulation, because you are a machine, so to speak. Either you're well-oiled or you're not. When you step out and you have to make a choice. Do you want this government of the United States of America and the governments worldwide to continue to rule people? You are going down the tubes. Do you get it? And you keep saying that love wins. Love will never win without an action. Even Jesus Christ had an action. And those before him, Muhammad, the Elohims in Jerusalem, David, Solomon. Everybody has a rhyme and reason, right? They took action, whether we agree with that action or not. All we're doing is, oh, we're love, and it's the person, and step away. Do you know what love really is? Do you really forgive so much? You don't, because if you did, you would be able to bake bread and discuss these things right out. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not saying anything that in this conversation that I'm labeling right or wrong. We're not doing that. We're discussing what really is happening out there and what people are dealing with every day. And, you know, it doesn't matter. People forgot now because they're vaxxed. They just want to go through their life. Your life will never be the same. Oh, it's quiet now because, you know, we don't hear nothing about the children. Yeah, I know, because there's an influx of children that came into the United States that are trafficked from all over the world. Oh, you're so enthralled because the halftime game was dope. Dope? Are you kidding me? Those talented people that sold their souls to the devil that have to step up now. How dare? That's my buddy, you know, Snoop Dogg. I love him. I love his work. How dare you bring down Candace Owen? That's, talk about black going against black. That's disgusting. I didn't see her as an Uncle Tom. I see her as an empowering woman who is colorless to me because she is a soul. If I like her, I'm gonna like her because I like her being, not because she's black or white or blue or green. Let's get that out the window too. And she's empowering and she's educating, but people don't like that. She's an Uncle Tom. Come on now. Maybe you're an Uncle Tom, because you keep going on with this race card, and to get out of poverty, what you turned around and did is sold yourself. You didn't think the devil was going to come knocking, because in most cases it evaded some people, but your master's calling now, right? Let me see. Don't talk about it, be about it. If one is saying love wins, then they better be practicing love in the physical. If love is who you are, then be loves. That's right. That's right. Just turn around and be the example. Be the example and do what you got to do. It's not even, the righteous are not about materialism, wealth. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. But the bottom line is that doesn't take precedence over our lives. We still do the right thing, even though we are blessed with nice things, and we've also have to understand the hard times. Excuse me. So I was pondering today whether I should come on or not, because I have to tell you, I've been a little tired. Been a little tired the last couple of days. And I'm taking all this things in, and I'm pondering and I'm praying, and, I simply don't care anymore. I'll say it straight out. I don't care anymore about having to sugarcoat or weigh my words so tenderly, because everybody's going to get hurt because they can't handle nothing. I don't care about that no more, because when I think about it and ponder, I conduct myself in a way that is gracious. I articulate my words correctly. I'm one of the coolest people that you'll ever meet, but I'm not taking nobody's bullshit, because it is bullshit when you hurt people deliberately, when you lie about what really is happening. You're promising a new earth. I see thousands and thousands of people following these people that promise you new earth and the twin flames love and the souls. And I know a lot of things, you find information and you learn, but you still haven't learned nothing for yourself. Don't feel bad, guys. You're not the people that I want to get caught in a shuffle with, because you're so indecisive that you'll get 20 people killed. I have to say it like that. So I'm not interested. I have friends of all walks of life, all colors. I'm not interested in BLM. If you don't think a Black life matters in your normal way of living, there's something wrong with you, because a Black life matters, a white life matters, an Arab life matters, a Latino's life matters. But again, you see how we put labels on things, and how that's the generational curses that are patterns that people believe, and it is taught in the house, and it is taught, because I've heard little kids saying, oh no, they don't like us because we're Mexican, that's why Trump hates us. I heard that out of little kids. This is being fed into people. Or, Biden's the greatest one, he's going to save us. You shouldn't be teaching your kids anything about that. You should be teaching your kids morals, independence, sticking up for themselves so they don't get bullied, understanding what they are up against, because they're feeling it from all ends. And you should be instilling the divine in your kids. But no, everybody goes along with what is not right. It's a stronghold that they have on the people, because the people are afraid. People are saying burn the mask. Well, you keep blaming the government now. Blame yourselves. Take the fucking mask off. I'm sorry to get so passionate about it, but if you really feel it, take the mask off. And if you feel comfortable that you want to make the mask, have the mask stay on, keep the mask on. Shut up and stop downing people that don't. Did you stop to think that there are people who are educated about the body and diseases, and they would not put anybody at risk? Come on, people, stop it. Again, flap, flap, flap. So, what's going on in Canada will affect the United States. It's going to affect people globally. If they could shut down, oh, isn't that something? They shut down their funds, so they can't have their funds. I didn't see nobody getting arrested when Black Lives Matter turned around and they were burning down federal buildings. That's freedom? No, that's not freedom. Because you see those people who are telling you about freedom? Those are the same people that shackled you. And if you know your history, you would know that yes, we were all slaves, but there are circles that break out. But you don't want to know that. All you keep telling me is the same old thing. And that's how the agenda is going to play out, because now they're reversing it. Oh, you feel happy? You think that the white man's giving you a break because you're a person of color? They're sinking you down the abyss more and more. Stand up for yourselves and stop being mealy mouses already. It's horrific. You know, I grew up in the inner cities and they want to say, oh, it's a black white thing. That's nonsense. We didn't have all that stuff. Yeah, that we had tensions. I'm not saying that people don't experience tension, but the government is making you hate your fellow man more and more and more, just by the things they're putting in your head. And so what? You don't like some of the history that was before us. Leave the history there so people know exactly not what to do. Oh, but you like the history of this government who openly worships everything that is defiled. And don't say they're not. Of course, if it wasn't true, there wouldn't be human trafficking, there wouldn't be food shortages. They're lying outright. They quilled a whole global world, and I'm supposed to bow down to the kings and queens in this world or the political leaders? I don't think so. I wasn't born for that. I'm a queen in my own right. And so are you guys. Stop being mealy mouses. Stop always sitting on the fence. Stop being two-faced. Those are the things that we have to change. Those are the patterns. Because maybe you'll say, oh, I'll be dead, I won't be here, but your kids will be here, your grandchildren will be here, your bloodline will continue. I might still be here because I plan to live 1,000 years. I plan my birthright, right? But, you know, so what? You want to be popular in whose eyes? The same people who lied constantly. I still see the people following, the people that sell them rubbish. And I've come to the conclusion is that's what you like and that's where you want to be. See nobody like say I made a mistake and I'm sorry for hurting A, B, and C. No, I don't see people do that. I see them, you know, look, we all make mistakes. Some mistakes we wish we could take back. Some mistakes we can't. But, you know, when you see how the trueness of the heart of people goes and how people twist things, that's why some people turn away and they don't want to bother with people, because it's like, really? That's all you do all day online is you talk shit? You talk shit and you hustle people, and you're all doing it in the name of saving the world, and you can't even save yourself. Thank you, I'll pass. I'll take my chances by myself then, and I'll use my own mouthpiece to save myself and maybe save a couple of others. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, but what you are losing is you are losing the right to change those patterns that you might think are curses. You are losing your freedom. You are losing your chance to worship. Just because it doesn't affect us because we still have freedom doesn't mean it doesn't stronghold us. Just because, you know, people think that, oh, I live in my own world and these are the things that God protects us. What about the weak? What about the people that don't know better? See, I'm not down for any of that with the queens and the kings and the throwing all that stuff that they throw a spike. I could care less if you think that you are King David the Great. If you have no heart and soul, you're nothing. And that really is the truth. So what do we do when we discuss these things? Because it takes a toll on us too, you know. Yes, I'm a strong person, but don't think that things don't, you know, affect me. Of course they do. This is very hard to do this, to get up and do this. You know, many times I could say, they're not getting it anyway. They want to be in that ignorance field, right? But then I say, no, who am I to say that? Because you have the gift and you made your choice to speak your gift. And when I get in those type of moods, I do things that bring me back into the state of balance, into the middle path. So I'll pray. I'm very thankful for what I have. I don't take things for granted. I understand the flip side of the coin. But What I am telling you is that this is a daily thing because human nature gets in the way. I'm going to leave you with that to think about. I'll be on over the weekend. I'm going to really get into it. Today, I just wanted to shoot the breeze and talk a little bit. Peace out and have a great week. You are the light and you are divine. Nobody can take that away from you, even when we go into funks, because we all go into funks. It's human nature. But a true soul, they can never defeat. They will keep looping 1,000 years. Trust me on that one. I know what I'm talking about. I'll see you later.